Hi everybody. We're playing Apollo Blush's Penis Right. Wait, no. We're playing Apollo Justice? Apollo Crustus? Even though I'm pretty sure this is like the last. Don't you? Oh, I thought you were me. Okay, no, you're We're playing this game. We're gonna solve the space murder. We're gonna solve the space murder, and everything will be okay from now on. I hope. Trial number 2, Electric Boogaloo. Oh boy, it's December 20th. I love the December, and for some reason the judge is just not here. We done yet? Bro, it's only been like 3 minutes. What do you want from me?
I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something.
Objection!
Your Honor? Could you please come out from under your bench? We're actually gonna be playing as Phoenix Wright. That's crazy. There are no more bombs. I promise. Oh, right. This takes place like after the bombing.
Oh, yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. Thanks to that asshole Guru Gaga. And then 10 tornadoes self-destructed.
I guess that's one way to describe what happened to Tony.
Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Donate's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense? You have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far?
Yes, Your Honor, the defense is ready.
Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? I take it you would like to give me the opening statement this time?
Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. That's true. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. I mean, talk about veteran. The man's like 100 years old, bro. He hasn't aged since the first game.
Let's see. In the previous...
Which, by the way, I feel like he should have retired at this point. Because, good lord, but... whatever.
In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. The boarding lounge. Ooh.
And?
How could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point?
Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Dona's argument was correct. Surprisingly. I'm always correct. So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect. Is that how you say it? Yeah, I'm sure. There were two people who claimed to be on the first scene. All their statements. Yeah. We already heard. Yeah. I'm gonna skip all these flashbacks. And we won't be able to talk to the detective anymore because she's dead, so... And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, a courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. That accursed fellow. You killed my witness. You killed Detective Arm. Yeah, we know this, dude. He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Professor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues that there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection!
To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man, or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already, old man? Excuse me, how old are you? You're 28. You're not a whippersnapper yourself, big boy. You're like a few years younger than him. Like 4, probably. I don't remember how old Wright is in this game.
Objection!
We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Why's he got a heart P on his shirt? Oh, does he like penis? I knew you were gonna go with that. That's the shirt he wore in the third Phoenix Wright game. It's a DLC costume I made him wear because it's funny. The P stands for Phoenix because his name is Phoenix. You fucking cock! Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene.
They saw a third person.
I see my sister has been running her mouth.
That's right.
I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. No matter. She didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. Although it wouldn't really make any sense considering at the same time he's being carried by Mr. Starbuck. No, wait. No, other way around. Mr. Starbuck is being carried by Clay. Yeah. In brief, we need to determine if the third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Director Cosmos, huh? I gotta get my Russian accent out.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers.
Of course you have. Of course you have. For I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was, of course, named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. 7 years ago, I successfully launched the Het-1 and... Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So,
Could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation for greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the Annals of Histories.
That speech of Prosecutor Blackquilt's just now, it sounded more like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best it sailed right over the director's head.
Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony. Please. I just go already. Fuck.
Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge, and Darren lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the figure standing. The standing figure must have been Starbuck. Okie dokie.
I see. So in your testimony you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed.
Of course, the horror, the humanity. But what I said is what I saw. And what I saw is what I said. Oh. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions. Would you say? Did I say that right? Courageous action to take in the face. Oh, okay. To save my men, I went personally to the epicenter of danger, risking my own life for theirs. Well, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men. I don't know about that one. I no. Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away.
Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw up more information before I do anything else.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see who that figure was clearly or what they were doing? Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person standing motionless. The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there? Ugh, I'm so close, but without evidence, I can't prove that person's the third party. I don't relish in this, and...
Hold it!
Let's see, according to this diagram... Get my old lady glasses, what the hell? You didn't have to go through the control room to get to boarding lounge 1. It looks like you could have just gone from the southern corridor as well. Well, that leads to the elevators, but... Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arm rushed ahead of me towards the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her. I see. So we peeked into the boarding lounge from the control room door and...
Hold it!
Where were you coming from?
The 6th floor. We were making sure any stragglers made their way to the 4th floor. It was then we heard about Starbuck and Terran and hurried to the 3rd floor lounge. On my galactic scooter here, of course. Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does that have something to do with space? Of course. It's specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships. I see. Then I take it works on in 0G too? Sadly, no. With the current state of technology as it is, I'm afraid it would just float about and be galactically useless. Well, that's a galactic bummer. I see. So you rush to the boarding lounge with a space-age pogo stick. And when you got to the scene, what did you see?
A galactic pogo stick. That's certainly one way to describe it.
Hold it!
Aura Blackquill also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see the figure's face clearly?
No, not clearly. The light that they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Terran, but I couldn't see who the other person was.
So for all you know, it might have not been Mr. Starbuck, is that correct?
I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man capable of murder.
Objection!
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third party there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director?
Okay, now you're just like... Are you inciting the witness? What are you trying to do here?
Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Terran were there at the time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished.
You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off the scene?
Just for a brief instant. About as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by.
If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time.
But what about the escape route? But what escape route could this person have used?
The direction opposite of the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way.
Objection!
All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof?
I don't know, man. Do you? Do your balls work? Where your balls at?
Well... If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we like.
I mean, that seems all you're good for, bud.
An inmate who used to...
Fucking... I don't care.
Where's your proof of this quaint kingdom exists?
He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. He's right, I don't have any proof yet. But... the southern door was a possible escape route. I better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why'd you look away from the boarding lounge?
Ha ha ha! There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arms saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her.
What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure?
I imagine her instincts as the detective told her they were the killer.
I don't know about back. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure.
This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony.
Fired 2 warning shots at the figure. So he said 2 warning shots. There was one, like, over here, near, like, next to the control room dock board, like the one under the vents. And then there was one on, like, the little window thing with the big holographic doohickey. I know that.
Hold it!
And neither of these 2 shots hit the culprit. That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose. But did she really? There's something about this that bothers me. Fired 2 shots, did she? It's the first time that info has come out. I wonder if I can find any inconsistencies.
Hold it! Hold it! Objection! Objection! Hold it!
We're just skipping this. I'm just think talking.
Objection!
I regret doing this now. Okay, whatever. We'll save here.
Objection!
Oh, okay. Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You'll doubt my words. Words that will someday be written down in history books? Somehow I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books.
Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? You say the detective arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. That's true. I kind of assumed that, like, when she fired her gun, it, like, bounced off the wall. Or at least the second one did. How the fuck have we not finished this game? I'm getting there. This is like the third to last case, because I forgot there's this, and then there's the 5th case, and then there's another case after this with Shamu. So I kind of forgot about that one. So there's like 2 more cases after this, and then we move on to the next fucking game, the Spirit of Justice, whatever it's called, and then that's about it. I want to hear a rat. Where'd you go? Besides, this is getting interesting. After 3 cases. What? Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction to a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirm that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there's only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Why have I now seen this Red Bull ad in English and Spanish? English and Spanish?
If you move, you're gay.
Listen here, you 2-tone hair emo fuck. What? 2-toned hair? What? In what way am I emo? What? I'm wearing nothing. I have a ring. I have a Rick and Morty shirt and short hair, and I'm emo? What? I will bleach your hair completely white. No. Use context clues. Reem, does your hair have two colors? No. No, it does not. It's just brown hair. I have a ginger beard, though, so maybe that's what you're talking about. But I'm not talking about your goofy ass. Oh, were you talking about Black Quill? Okay. Bro, who the fuck fuck was I? How was I supposed to fucking know you're talking about a video game character? You think he can hear you? You think your little fucking your little text is gonna reach into the cyberspace and talk to this fictional character? You fuck. You bowl cut heaven, bitch. It was just on the screen for like 1 second. You know what, bitch? Yes, I pulled a Deadpool. I can't believe this. But there's only one bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ah! Bert. You should know the answer to that already. I should. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun, the same caliber as the detective's gun. Okay, so if that's the case, then the oxygen tank wasn't ruptured because he was dropped down. So then you just essentially proved yourself wrong about Starbuck dropping Clay down the ladder. You just disproved yourself then. Right? Which means we still have no fucking clue how they got downstairs or down the ladder or whatever. But regardless, the rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Wow.
Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct?
What caliber is your bullet? I don't know. I don't know nothing about that stuff.
And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from.
One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. If you didn't know, why did you think about it? Because I had to think about it. What do you mean? So that bullet hole was from Athena, I might need you to do some like therapy on me here a little bit, good lord. Oh, that's awful. Oh. The bullet you found? Oh. I thought you were making like a wiener joke. No, it's this. Oh shit. Wait. If it's a .38 caliber, then who the fuck's bullet is this? That is a good point. What the fuck? So this is a completely different bullet. So what the fuck? How did you get wiener from bullet? I mean, like, look at the phrasing of the question. What caliber is your bullet? No! I didn't say it was small. It's not I'm not talking about this. This is weird. It's getting a little weird. Fuck. I gotta back out now before it gets rough. I better update the record. Update the record.
Very good. Now we know the both. Mr. Wright, does that all clear up your questions?
Does that really clear up everything? No, it doesn't. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun, but that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh? If you're comparing your shit to a bullet, then it's small, I'm sorry. No? I mean, it depends on the bullet. I mean, if you got, like, one of those, like, the big ones. What's the big bullet? What's a big bullet? You know what? You know what? Hold on. What's a big bullet? What's a big bullet? Big bullet, dude. It's a 50 caliber. What if it was like a 50 caliber? That's like monster size. Like, you ain't getting any bitches with that dick, because no one will want to do that. Your dick should still be bigger than a rifle bullet. I mean, would you want it to be bigger than a 50 caliber though? It's like this big, maybe. It might be less than that. I don't know. I mean, it's more thin. Sniper bullet too. You know what? Let me see. Let me see the length. Let's see. Length of 50 cal bullet. It's 5.45 inches. I mean, that's average, isn't it? Yeah, put it on screen. Look at this. Yo ass is caught. No. Look. No, look. It's right here. Look at that. That's a 50 cal. It's like 5 inches, and it's like 0.510 inches in diameter, right? Average is 6. Is it? 6, 7? Anyways.
And 1, 2, 3,
Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be?
Just a little something of great importance we found at this crime scene, Your Honor. We found it where? In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. So clearly bro is below average. I am not below average. I will tell you that. I'm not telling you my penis size, alright? There are some things that I am going to keep to myself, but I will tell you this. The length is fine. It is average. But that's as far as I'm going to get in this conversation. We're moving on! We're moving on! No more penis talk! Even though I'm the one that brought it up. Bro just said his shit got no girth. What did you say?! I'm gonna have my cat attack you. This little fat ass would get off onto the bed. And the floor guard of the crime scene looks like both. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than the one Detective Arm's .38 calibers.
That means...
Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. a third person who had a gun that could fire .10 caliber bullets. Why are you freaking out about that? And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired a warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. No, that wouldn't make any sense from like where they are though, because they said they're right here, but the bullet was like right over here, wasn't it? It was like right here. So they would have had to be shooting like from here. And then the bullet would have been right here. I don't fucking know. You asking me or rhetorically questioning your memory? I'm just thinking out loud. Talking to your goofy ah. This yeah. And in return, the detective fired her warning shot. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Ha ha ha! It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us.
Ooh, what's this now? You trollop, you kept that out of the testimony!
What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? That accent gotta be racist. What does that even mean? How is using a Russian accent racist? It's not like I'm going, oh, the shabolik vodka, oh. It's not like I'm going that, I'm just using an accent. Man, fuck you. I'm thinking. You're taking my thing. No thinking out loud for you! You bitch! Foolish old geezer. So Director Cosmos, what has been hiding the presence of a third party all along? Director Cosmos, I want you to testify this to the court about what you really saw.
You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom you're just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now, please give accurate testimony.
You got one more time to point that smelly ass dick cheese finger at me? Dick cheese? The fuck? You think I got smeg, you fucking cringe? You have issues. Why are you coming up with like your own little fan fiction about me? I got smaller never mind, I'm not gonna go into that one. I'm just gotta keep going, keep moving forward. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and tearing on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us.
Given there was no third party in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant?
Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one and it'll be you who's go. Huh?
Your reasoning could apply if Spaceboy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the .10 caliber gun.
Gang, we got the defendant up here for damn near no reason.
We have a reason. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to prevent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by the police. Nor has the gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he's the culprit.
I think if a gun was found in the trash, some shit would have been turned over to the popo.
Yeah, I mean,
people would have to clean out. Well, they have robot maids, sort of. They have robot servants, so maybe they just didn't think about it when they emptied the trash. I don't know.
Okay, whatever. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? It hit me. So that means you're a ghost?
What? He's not dead.
I was wondering when you would realize your baldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls.
I just flicked water up my nose. Oh! What is happening right now? Hey!
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing a nice old gentleman.
Your baldness, it was all in jest. Please show yourself again. Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos?
Ha ha ha! I am glad you asked. It was a miracle! A miracle benefiting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. What? That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh wow, look at that. There's one extra Gyaxa star. Yeah, Gyat. The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle. It's beginning to really... You don't want to read that whole fucking thing? Alright. Also, that's called speculation when a motherfucker says that this could have happened but has no proof it did. I would have been like, Your Honor, speculation, and the judge would have been like, Blackwell, please provide evidence going forward. The jury will disregard the comment of the possibility that a defendant could have thrown the gun into the trash chute without more concrete evidence of such. You would be correct in normal circumstances, but unfortunately, that's not how it works in the Phoenix Wright series. You see, the prosecutions can pretty much say whatever the fuck they want, and they'll be taking their word over the defense's word, unless proven otherwise, of course. So I could literally come up with this theory. The prosecution will just say no, and then the judge will be like, "Oh, all right." That's how it works. I played like almost every single game at this point, and I'll tell you that's exactly what happens in every fucking case. Prosecution would be like, "Oh, he could have just dumped it in the trash chute," and it's just like, "Do you have any proof of that?" No. Judge is like, "All right, I'm going with the prosecution side." It's just like, all right, bro. That's just how it works, you know. It's to make the game more fun because everyone is against you. Literally everyone is against you. That's why every single one of these trials is rigged as shit. Because this world is garbage.
But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand.
I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out.
Now then, Mr. Wright, go cross-examination, please.
I kind of forgot he had a fucking... I kind of forgot this was, like, his statement. We've just been jibber-jabbering.
To the east, to the east, to the east, to the east, to the east.
So, like, they were right here? I thought they were, like, right here.
Hold it!
So, in other words, you were fired at while you were at the control room door.
Well, that is correct.
There's something not quite right about that. Director Cosmos, the bullet this person fired hit you, isn't that right?
Oh yes, it was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullets fired hit me while I was in the control room. But as the Cosmos would have it, the bullet bounced off my glorious Medal of Honor.
In that case, the bullet would have wound up somewhere around the control room door. Okay, so Director Cosmos was in the control room to the east. While he was there, he was shot at by someone with a .10 caliber gun. Whatever that looks like. But the bullet hit his medal, so he was able to escape with his life. He's a very lucky man. I wonder why people think he's great. I'm pretty lucky myself, so if he's a great man, I'm the king of all the cosmos. That's true. You like me jump scaring you for a second there? Sorry. Okay. Boing, 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 boing.
Objection!
Fuck!
Mr. Wright, you're a bitch!
Objection!
Fuck! I thought it was like the note. Play with the big boys now.
Hold it!
I've already heard about that part. Do you have any new information?
Well, let me see. If you have about 2 hours, I can tell you about the headline miracle.
We already know about that too. Tell us something related to the incident. I don't know about the incident. Well, let me tell you the many incidents that made me the man I am today. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, this is such boring bullshit. We don't care.
Hold it!
But it was so dark you couldn't see this figure's face, isn't that right? Yes, the room was as deep and dark as outer space itself. Speaking of outer space, during the Had 1 launch 7 years ago. If it's about the Had 1 miracle again, you can saw it off and tell it to a stray mutt. Excellent idea. No reason why the animal world shouldn't hear of my greatness. And so they shall. But first, your testimony. What happened next? Okay, so obviously none of the first two shits fucking do anything.
Objection!
Fuck! I'm dog shit, bro. Okay, we were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. What?
Objection!
Yeah, okay. Why? Why? It's so fucking simple, bro. What is wrong with me? Oh my gosh, bro. I should have figured that out to begin with. It was in the gutter. Why? Oh, dude. Oh, I'm about to blow. Oh my god, bro. I genuinely don't know why I didn't start off with that. That should have been super easy. Director Cosmos, I believe you're telling this great court a glorious lie. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were at the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. Right, this is yeah. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun from this position with his little baby gun, his little noisy cricket, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the 10 caliber bullet here. Oh. A trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet would have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. I didn't think... What? Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes? Is there something you'd like to expound on me upon? You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking to the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right?
What? So, you knew he was lying this entire time and didn't say anything about it? Or are you lying right now trying to get the witness involved in your lie? I'm so confused. Ugh! What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. What? Dude, come on, use your brain. Obviously, he was just lying the entire testimony. Come on now. Dude, it's so obvious. Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. So, that makes sense, actually. So he was what? He was just talking out of his ass? Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. Huh? How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time... Yikes! His handcuffs! You'll become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. Alright, don't tell the truth. Just put your sword away. You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. Why was he lying? And now you've lost your possibility that a third person was in this room. This is the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. I have? How? The director and the detectives were near the southern door, meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. That's not true. Did you not remember what you said previously about the trash chute? He could have gone down there, or they could have gone down there. They could have gone over here. What? And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' prints. Sure, there'd be no escape for the third person. Order! Order in the court! Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant, isn't that right? Yes. It was for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering that for the defendant? It looks like we've come to a conclusion. That the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person, has crumbled. Again, the trash chute. I have the trash chute theory. Game, give me the trash chute. Give me the trash chute. He's about to hand down his verdict. Finkity binkity. What are people wrong. Hold on. Dr. Cosmos says that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if the premise isn't true? What if only one of them reached the scene before the other? And if that other person entered the lounge, then they would have been the third person. The defendant is the only one who could have said there's imputed claims. My verdict.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility.
Oh, this had better be good, Mr. Wright.
There is only one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And the person would be the first... What? And that person would have been the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them.
Very well. Let's hear about this theory. Who is this person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge?
Your mother. Is it Aura?
Take that!
Nope.
Take that!
Is it Yuri? Oh.
What? But that's... Mr. Wright! What are you claiming here?
All the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all.
But that means...
Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness, Director Yuri Cosmos. Ah! What? Well, there goes my theory, but whatever.
Order in the court, I say. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail.
I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure. It was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. That's why she fired those 2 warning shots.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot! I'm an idiot on the starboard side. That's ships, but whatever.
Captain Wright.
Ugh. Blah, 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 blah. Can we move on, please? Cosmos, you've told a lie in this court once again. I should not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence.
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears the scar. If Director Cosmos is the third person or a Blackwell saw, then I guess it would have deflected his badge and then hit the screen wall. Dr. Cosmos must have been the one who fired the .10 caliber gun. Fuck. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it to the other piece of evidence, the mark you received from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge. Comparison against this piece of evidence to prove that you were in the lounge. I'm gonna poop your pants.
Take that!
A .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have that ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for. But Aegis asteroid losing altitude all the way into the ship. If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the .10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? No! You've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again. It's a miracle I'm not going down yet. What is happening? Stop this is Wes and confess the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director? Just do this already, man. Ah! Someone get me off this thing!
Order in the court! And will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Meetspin.com.
Who said that? Must have been the wind.
Phew! Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth.
While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark of the metal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching with the size of Detective Arm's firearm.
Are you ready to confess the truth, witness?
No, you've got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding. Is he going to start piling on more lies? It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. What? What do you mean to we continue? Just go to the next. Just go to the next testimony, bro. Just go to the next testimony.
Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented to the defense, claiming that you were the third person. Forgive me, I'm so sorry.
Blah 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 blah. Don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, here we go. It's true. I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. I then went to the east. What? I then went past the elevator. I can read now. Wow. I then went past the elevators and all the way around the boat to boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the second scene. What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts.
I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim?
Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness. Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw, was you. No, it wasn't me! I saw the person as well! If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall! That is an excellent point. I don't know, maybe reverse psychology? Well, it makes some sense if he told me those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. And he's being a naughty boy. So, Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof? Ah! I just remembered! I have an alibi! Miss Blackwell said she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct? Yes, and? Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like to cooperate with me. Collaborate. Whatever. The director is not fibbing to the court for once. I confirmed that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. And that you arrived at the lounge after that? Yes, I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling. As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. Then again, maybe we won't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. And this time, no fibbing. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired the gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator's side door. And, well, the launch pad one door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. So you were shot by the killer as well, and then they disappeared? Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a bang! That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured. Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? Right. What a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran, his killer, the culprit shot a .10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. Why is my head hurt? And then the killer disappeared, and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him, Judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out, too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our Mr. Killer went. Trash chute. A trash chute. Trash chute. Trash chute. Dr. Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeked back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest, and Starbuck was out cold in the floor.
So we have a culprit who vanished from the scene with no escape route.
Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great
Silence.
Cosmos. A riddle of the ages indeed, but I'd rather know how a fitting leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand. Oh, that might actually be the first true statement he's said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple. Because it was Spaceboy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned consciousness. What? You're still going on this feigned unconsciousness thing? Bro, he said he disappeared. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of the victim vanishing. There is an objection on the camera evidence. Dr. Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished, and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. Which means he's hiding. Oh no, we're gonna do another therapy session. Why? Please. No. No. No, I don't want to do therapy.
Okay.
As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot, but when I tried to take another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, and, well, the launch pad door too. Why was he scared there?
Got it!
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launch pad door. This is the stupidest fucking gimmick in the entire franchise. Good lord. The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? And of what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I'm most certainly not. Ah! Director Cosmos! There's something about the launch pad door you're not telling us, is there? Yeah! Wow, he's speechless. It looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. Knock my ass out. It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. Knock. Knock, knock. You're about to get shell-shocked. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him. What I want to know is why is he pissed? I guess I would. I feel like I would be more afraid if.
Got it.
How come you weren't scared of this
Got
thing?
it.
Huh? You seem so afraid of doors. So there's one thing I'm missing.
Got it.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. I thought about it. I was like, wait, so you saw that the guy disappeared, this person disappeared, but you're not very shocked by it. Why is that? What's wrong with you? You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did. That kind of thing doesn't happen usually. And yet, at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? Why are you... I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went, isn't that right?
The garbage chute.
What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room, and the area beyond the launch pad was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door, I was standing right there. So there was nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe, or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Taryn, yeah? What if the culprit took that opportunity to suddenly slip out through the southern door? I hardly doubt it. As you'll recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself, via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use? I think I'll just input the two evidence. We're gonna reduce the noise level. Presto Chango. Less Discord. Okay. It looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. Now, to make sense of what we learned. Dr. Cosmos was surprised at the culprit's sudden vanishing of the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 yor. When we put these two pieces together, got one solution. It's the trash chute. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here?
Take that!
You're a dum-dum.
Take that!
You fucker. I thought it. Let my trash chute theory be real, please. Please.
culprit went through the Launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes. I mean, no. This asteroid starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid! The area beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. If we can just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door, we could be able to... Garbage. Yes! Yes! That's why you could have gotten past the security lock. Oh. Oh, I wanted him to go down the garbage chute. I propose that the killer use this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock door.
Take that!
What? Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the starboard lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Ah! I had ads. Was your trash theory dumb? I guess so. It looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see a whole picture yet. You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? Huh? Yes, by all means. There's a security camera in the boarding lounge 1. Right. The one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might have been recorded on the security footage as well. Then the mystery would have been solved. What do you think of my logic? I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, Your Baldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point... Oh my! The footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was a good idea too. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery, it doesn't mean you should try to show off too much, Grandpa Baldness. Prosecutor Blackquill, how did you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you enter the lounge? You and the judge both getting shut down on theories. True. If I must. You fucking bitch!
I don't know, man.
Got it!
Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you? And again, when she fired you? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Wait, what? Wait, what did you just say? Why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you, and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? I mean, wouldn't you be surprised if suddenly she appeared and started opening fire on you? I don't know. That's a little goofy. Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even great men such as myself experience surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were, of course, again, surprised when she shot at you. But, considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact you were stinky. Stinky doo-doo diaper man. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whether it was you. What? You were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there, you bitch. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence operation hide under your desk. I really wish they wouldn't do this shit constantly, bro. Just like stop, bro. Oh my gosh, only at 30%. I'm gonna gouge my eye out. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about the launchpad door. And whatever he's hiding about. Most about it. Maybe we could spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo. Oh, was it the little switch thing? It's the little switchy. The little Nintendo Switch in the back. Dr. Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up there over there? Blah blah blah. There's a lie for things compared to the photo. Don't be ridiculous. I already know. He's asking for it. It is this one. It is this one.
Take that!
The answer is this knob. I'll show you my knob. What? Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. What does that mean? It means sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? Fine, I admit it. You're right. I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. I guess that clears up what that knob is for. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck is going on in my head. Oh, so if the killers escaped the launch pad corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site. I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Dr. Cosmos, I request that you tell us about the moving launch pad in more detail. Fine, but listen carefully, for I'm about to give you I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. Why are you happy about that? What the fuck? I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so, and yet when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself. Ah, how did you know? How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there? Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology.
Stupid fucking...
So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you are trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. Ah! How do you know about that too? Because I'm more or less a pro.
I guess so.
But you have no proof I had a hidden agenda. Even if I did, I would never, ever tell you. So there! I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake. And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence.
Because you've lied like 5 times? You, a man of integrity? Don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You've spouted nothing but falsities since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest I dropped my mic and I'm pissed. Greatest barefaced liar in honor. Liar! You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions? My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. No, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend.
And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on boarding lounge 1's side. The police confirmed this on the scene. Liar!
So that means the director didn't move the launch pad? Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Liar.
Objection!
But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have gone somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Ah! You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out? Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. What the f... So is yours! You can't call my argument conjecture when yours is too! Yours is also riddled with conjections. You fuck ass? What do you mean? You do the same shit! But I guess it's okay if you do it. Stop fucking shut up. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned when he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it backwards. What if the director turned the knob, but not to move the pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was on the launch site before the incident? Then, after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right where the police found it. Gah! Made him sound like Mr. Starbuck. It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, our greatest liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astro Wanderers made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Alright. So, to restate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Why are you calling him boy? He's older than you. Oy vey. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake. Taken with body doubles after the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me. Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe just... maybe. Huh? Prosecutor Blackquill, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? What if, when the director moved the launch pad one back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? The museum? So there's the launch pad and there's the space museum. No, I don't know about that. I don't know.
cut the existential bull or I'll cut you. Mr. Wright, will you explain yourself at once? I know I'm right. It's all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor, let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was... So it's either this or this. I'm gonna try with this one. Yeah! I'm a genius. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he have possibly have switched the launch pad with? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what he switched with the Launchpad 1.
Take that!
Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It has all the same features as Launchpad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning the Space Museum, show your balls, the Space Museum and this Launchpad and Launchpad 1 can be switched with each other. You can't mean... The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. What? Boulder Dash. Boulder's Gate. And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle in inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see. Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum will have already switched places. That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding Lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from the boarding Lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from boarding Lounge 2... Welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There is no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. Yeah. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into boarding lounge 1 and waited there, concealed, in order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that this Miss Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who, we could suppose, after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Righto now. I see you know how to handle a sword, and handle it well. Perhaps I should call you the Swordmaster Bluff? I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor.
Silence!
But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. That's right! You have no proof that I switched the launch pads! Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record somewhere. At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see. This is the image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Do you see anything different when we compare it to the security footage? Yeah, I do. There it is. There's a 2. Huh? That number on the floor. Well, what do you know? It looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. And if this is just another bluff? Oh, don't worry. It's all right here. Right here, right in this footage. Proof beyond this door. It's the corridor of the Space Museum. Very well. All right, which one is it? Where is it? Come on, you silly bully.
Take that!
There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor in the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you actually see is part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum! And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1, on the opposite side of the Space Museum. And now that we know the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. Just incredible. The 2 launch pads were actually switched. But you'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude. Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what happened on the surface. In other words, Mr. Cosmos, you're a big dum-dum. No more lies, Directive Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. Ah! My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away! Galactic engines, ignition! What? It's going haywire! Ah! It won't stop! Ah! Ah! My glory! No, not that way, not that way! Ah! Bailiff! On your steed and after that witness! He's a big fat fibber.
I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm.
Dr. Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads?
I admit, it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. It's good to hear words I can believe for a change.
Before you do, Your Honor, two things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with the Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with.
Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast.
The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try and pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
I don't get it.
Don't get it? Why don't you get?
Director, why did you do all that?
From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us!
Mr. Starbuck.
Mr. Starbuck, my boy, I'm sorry. I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center. Director! Will I ever get the chance to go into space again? Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy. Then the dream is still alive. Well, gnarly.
Silence.
You're not going into space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way.
Why are you so hung up on him?
Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum. Oh, that's a good point.
I will never understand that shit. Like, I mean, let's be for real. And your police investigations in this series is shoddy as fuck. They investigate an entire crime scene one day, then immediately go to court with what they got, and unless proven otherwise, they just don't do anything. They won't investigate it fully unless the defense proves them wrong. So they have to do their job for them. It's just so stupid. Just the rules in this game just make no fucking sense. Starbuck, you will spill everything you know. What? Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood. If I'm going to die, I want to die in space. I have to do something. Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself. Now, you know violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. That annoyingly cheerful laugh. It could be none other than... Champion of Righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. In justice we trust. Wow, who would have saw that coming? Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope it's not too late. I don't believe we had an appointment. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a cat fight. I tell you, justice is a full-time job. Yeah, was it a fight between cats? Why are you here again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Fulbright, I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. But have you finally succumbed? Nope, but it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment! What evidence? Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence. That's true, Pokey Fulbright was going to look for it. I didn't think he was serious, though. So, what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed! Have a look at this! Oh, shit. It's the lighter.
What's this? A lighter?
That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim Clay Terran's blood along with this killer's fingerprints on it. What? Yeah. Okay, well, whose fingies were on there? Let me see them fingers.
Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant?
You bet. Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent. This is it. This is just what I need. Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate. Extrapolate? I don't know how to say that. That after the killer murdered Mr. Terran, they escaped with the lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then the killer left through the boarding lounge too and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder, a fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence.
But the defendant had free reign of the area until the Director Cosmos appeared. Could he have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time?
Objection!
You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? Stupid little bitch.
But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackquill, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingies were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the killer. Culprit. Fucker. Fingers. This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims. As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. No, there must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackquill, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow. Fulbright, you promise never to speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime, a few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, the court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty. Wow. This is the first time we find the guy innocent before we knew who the killer was. This is crazy. So crazy, in fact, I shit my pants. What the fuck? Yes, we did. Shut the fuck up. You. We did it, Mr. Wright. Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you. And please, thank Apollo for me, too. You all are the best. Oh, ooh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too. But that's gonna have to wait. Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
It's too late to object, isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. Prosecutor Blackquill, are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Fulbright! What were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Huh? The results? Oh, well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was the cat fight, and, well, I kind of got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbucks, so... You have yet to read it? Prosecutor Blackquill, can you read who prints... Can you read out who the prints belong to? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes. What?
But she wasn't. What? She wasn't. What the fuck? So says the report.
What?
What? Oh. Me? But she wasn't. She wasn't there. Pretty sure she was with Apollo, wasn't she? Right? I don't remember.
Order, I say, order! Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion.
I don't know how they got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit. This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. I don't think our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? Ah! What have I done? Please forgive me! I'm sorry!
Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying!
What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. Girl's gone wild.
Order! Order! I will have order! Fuck! Does this gavel mean nothing?
Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge for some reason. Oh, sorry. We stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Take that hoe to jail. Lamau. And that's the end of court case 4! Wow! At least Athena wasn't a kid. Whoa. That's like Tubular, man. Episode 5. Turnabout tomorrow. Whoa. No one can escape their past. Oh, is this Athena Sykes' backstory? Are we getting a backstory for Athena? The sins we've committed, and the sadness we've caused. No matter how far we run, our past remains. As ever present as the moon of the whatever. As the moon in the sky.
Apollo.
It looms in wait for the day when we are forced to face it. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on in hope towards tomorrow. They took Athena from the courtroom straight to the station. She's probably being questioned at this very moment. I mean, doesn't she have an alibi, though? After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. But now, Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. And my pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Some boss I turned out to be. I
It's even quieter in here than usual. Yeah. It seems so empty, too. I just don't get it, Daddy. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah. And I still believe it was, at least based on what we know. But now Athena's the one who's being accused. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred in the Cosmos Space Center, the lighter used by the real culprit was found. This lighter proved the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, innocent. But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Where's the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case? You know, Daddy, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right, Daddy? Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. All right. Off we go. Hunt evidence. Yay. Unnecessary evidence left at the office. Oh my gosh, my nose is just... All the bullets are gone. Alright, whatever. Athena is probably in the middle of being questioned, so Trucy's right. The thing to start with talking to people at the center is to talk to people at the center. I'm gonna go get me a little strawberry Kisa thingy. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that right now.
Right now.
Right now. Alrighty, we're back. Oh, that's good. That's some good shit right there.
Director Cosmos, do you have a minute? Ugh. Galactic Scooter, full speed ahead. Director! He scooted away. His expression changed the instant he saw you, Daddy. Well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. I'm gonna keep following you. Ugh. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey. Mr. Starbuck, you've been released, huh? Yup. I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You've given me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... What's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. I was just coming out of the detention center and I saw Miss Sykes. He saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. But you know what? You know what? She flashed a peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now go back to your... Now you can go back to into space someday. I'm really bad at this accent or what I'm trying to do, but you know what? I will keep doing it. Yeah, that sounds like Athena. I can just picture it. But I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. She's gotta be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. She held back some of her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. Alright, enough glazing the girl. Can we figure this shit out? There's no question about it. That girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then, they can put me in prison instead. Well, I don't mind. Can't have that either. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm going to give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted, just like I did for you. I know she'll be alright with you in her corner. I know you'll never give up on her. Apollo has a fine boss to look up to. I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I haven't the foggiest idea. So there was never going to be a launch that day, not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Surely you would have noticed when you went to board the rocket. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. But I guess that's about how it goes when you're worth less than space debris. Is he going to be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. Blimey. Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murder? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. I guess that was a little too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police, though. They said they never did find a .10 caliber gun down in the trash chute. Just as I thought. The culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped. So, was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck? Couldn't really tell. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if the person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see. The door. Oh, yeah. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now, that door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the launch pad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door right now. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure. Let me just get my print scanned here. Do the launch pads get switched back and forth a lot? Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right. Because, quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money. I hear ya. Times are tough. Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around. Wonderful. First of all, what is this leaf doing here? Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoe. There's lots of trees around the almost said the Dead Space Center. Good lord. Around the Space Center. That'd be scary. Fucking Xenomorph comes out. Is this Xenomorph? No, Xenomorph is the one from Aliens. What were the monsters from Dead Space called? I can't remember. Necromorphs. That's what they're called. Necromorphs. Sorry. I just want to do that. Alright, whatever. She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. I don't know. But I don't know. If they were stuck to the bottom of someone's shoe, wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor that they came in that way. Not everything is set up like a magician stage, you know. So this is another one of those devices for opening the doors, huh? Yep. Well, this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either? That's right, Truth. Why'd you bonk me? I will fuck you up. Ah? That's right, Trucy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan for their prints. When they escaped back out of the Space Museum corridor in a boarding lounge 2. Boarding lounge 2. Boarding lounge 2. Boarding lounge 2. Well, I don't see anything that jumps out at me. And I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor. Come to Texas, pussy boy, I'll fuck you up. Bruh. Your funeral. You'll never be able to handle my thug shaker. Why did I say that? That was like the fucking... Ugh. Curse the wretch who sullied my good name. Reverse course and full speed ahead. Director Cosmos, wait! I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that! The mobility system has been compromised. Tracy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. And the streak continues. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing. My dear old battleship, we fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor. Do a whole push-up and prove me wrong? You just want me to do a push-up, dude? I'm not a bitch. I can do a push-up. I think the best I could probably do is maybe 20, although it has been a while. And I'm also bigger than I used to be. Like, I weigh a lot more than I used to. I used to weigh, like... I don't remember, actually. How much did I weigh? I was going to say, like, 160 or 170 back in, like, high school, but I don't remember. It's been a while. Huh. But I am definitely a lot bigger, so... Nah, I bet that button, all that button will do is make it go haywire again. Very well. I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expected to be treated honorably. Okay, bro. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. Yes, we already know. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner, you fib. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo his Cyclops if I want to get to the bottom of this.
Take that!
I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the Why is it playing the old music? Oh, whatever. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the two launch pads. I refuse. You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone. I hope I never get this when I'm old. Let's see, where do I start? This is how you explained your motives for switching the launch pads. You did. Thanks to you switching the pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket, far away from the actual explosion. My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board the fake rocket without them noticing? I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off.
Take that!
You must have gotten Mr. Terran to help you. Yuck! He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Boy, someone help this poor prisoner of war. How was he able to spin around like that? If you really wanted to save the astronaut's life, shouldn't you have just called off the launch? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to trouble of all that? Gone all that trouble is what I meant to say. I guess he could have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident? Well, that's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronaut's safety. But it was just a warning. It could have been a prank. Why did you believe it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Oh, I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication systems, you see. AKA a regular old telephone. It's been a while. Planning another launch? I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said it's been a while? And that was enough to make you take that threat seriously? Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before? Yep, I do remember that. There was a bomb threat before. Maybe. The culprit in the current case is the same as the person who was involved in this incident. The Had One Miracle, that epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real, and it wasn't a prank. Didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? So that explains why the first rocket was in a piss-poor state. I thought it was because they were broke. But no, it was sabotage. That's a better excuse, I guess. Yes, the Had One Miracle was really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Sabotage, murder. So, this is an ugly truth. So, this is the ugly truth about the Had One Killer Miracle. Fuck. Shit. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught, and that the case was closed. Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago? This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit.
Take that!
Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in the case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. The culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago. Then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant that the true culprit's been running free all this time. How do you keep seeing straight through me? I don't know, man. This shit's easy. Fucking easy. The reason why Director Cosmos will talk about why he switched launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Had One Miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads, you'll have to catch me first! We'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. 7 years ago? You mean the so-called Had One Miracle? The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the trouble began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism. All that, in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days, all personnel effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered gold leaf through those checkpoints. That's very specific and also wrong. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what the person is. To put it simply, a spy. A spy? You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country, carries out dangerous missions, and always gets the girl? Someone's been watching way too many late-night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D. No! My people are calling me! No! Battleship, go! Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction.
7 years ago, we got a call from...
Well, I'm actually kind of curious about something. Ooh, I do have it. Replay that game. Sorry, I got distracted. Sorry. Hurry up. Ah, fuck you.
7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning us of sabotage.
The same MO as this time.
Yes, and here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? Ninjas and spies basically the same thing.
But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy.
Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation.
They did indeed. And then to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story.
And that was the Hat One miracle, wasn't it? Then 7 years later, the SEM MO, Advanced Warning of Sabotage, that must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it?
That's right. The caller knew the facts of the case 7 years ago, despite the cover-up. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder, and they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?"
I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me.
We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor. It was quite a moving speech, actually.
Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points.
But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant that the danger was very real. And I knew there was no way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, they would find a way. That's why I switched the launch pads and staged the moving rescue scene. First, I snuck into the center the night before and switched the launch pads. That way, the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. Then, I put a close for repair sign at the door of launch pad 1 in boarding lounge 2.
You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right?
What else did you do? I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Terran.
But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck get on it.
He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. I couldn't trust him with the secret, so I drugged him.
Which is illegal, by the way, but hey, what do I know? It was for his own good, alright? It was for his own good. You know what I just realized? This entire time, I completely forgot to turn on my fucking scaling. Holy shit. I forgot to turn on my frame rate thing. Fuck. Good lord. There we go. Fucking hell. Clay's murder, huh?
After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out, but after all that effort, Terran is dead and Hat 2 is destroyed. The Hope capsule, which has returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home, the center of the cosmos, my beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for! Wait, what do you mean by the Hope capsule was lost in that blast? The Hope capsule? I thought the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Terran. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. The capsule was being held in a safe in Launchpad 1, but I gave it to Terran before the incident so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. The idea was that, with it safely in Terran's possession, it could make it look like he rescued it during the state's miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost in that explosion anyway. But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe. You misunderstand. The launchpad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. Oh. Oh, that's right. Okay. So that was just unfortunate. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence, and was blown to smithereens. Yeah. Yet another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads. What? How? The police found a wiretapping device during their investigation today. A bug aboard my battleship. A tap on my advanced communication systems. A wire on that phone? Yes, a wire on this very phone. I used this phone to give instructions to my staff about the launchpad switch. Just to the few selected members who knew about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of the Launchpad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion and planted the bomb then. Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could have pulled something like that off. So you really think the same spy is behind the incident in the one 7 years ago? Yes, I'm sure of it. Then this spy must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackwell's been chasing. But Prosecutor Blackwell told me once, the hunt I've been on for the phantom of 7 years past continues even still! Yeah! Okay, whatever. We fucking skip this. I need to skip all this garbage. So if we find this phantom, that's right, we can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell, too. What about him? Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current incident, it would mean Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. That's still a big if, though. I wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs. But if we're going on a ghost hunt, count me in. It's all over for me! Spin, whirl, I'm done for. The center of the cosmos is doomed. You think he's gonna be alright, Daddy? I bet. Well, at least he'll be in good company. There must be planets out there he can spin with. Which reminds me, I'd like to delve a little deep into that Hat 1 mission, too. If you want to learn more, start with the Space Museum. There's a Hat 1 exhibit there. Oh, don't mind me. I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos unfold. It's like he achieved spiritual enlightenment or something. I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go visit the Space Museum. Whee! It's unfortunate. Thought I heard something. Let's see. Where's the exhibit on the launch 7 years ago? There. That's the Hat One exhibit. Oh, wow. Look at that photo of the team. Oh, Baddie 1 and Baddie 2. Well, man, I don't know. There's Clay, Mr. Starbuck, Director Cosmos, Aurora Blackwell, and even Ponko. But I've never seen the woman on the right before. Everybody looks so happy. Oh, except Director Cosmos. He's giving a thumbs up. Let's check out the newspaper article, too. Hat One launch imminent. And there's a photo of the Hope space probe. And apparently some Japanese shit on the wall too, like a little mask, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. A katana, a rock, and a little bird, a little crane. I guess it's only natural it doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage. They really were keeping it a secret, just like the director said. Daddy, take a look at that jacket. It must be the Hat One uniform jacket. It's the same design as the one Apollo was wearing, the one that belonged to Clay. Actual jacket worn by Hat One team member, it says. Not a replica, huh? I wonder if it's Mr. Starbucks. Hello? Hello? What the fuck? What is she doing here? Oh, Miss Woods, what brings you here? I heard Thena got arrested, so I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright. I thought you might be here at the scene. You must be so worried, but rest assured, I'm going to do my very best to defend her. Thena's going through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to this place must have been really difficult for her. Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center? Sorry, I did it. I just wanted to see the rocket. Well, you haven't even been here this entire time. You don't know what you don't even know what we're talking about. You don't even know. You don't even fucking know. Did you check the trash chute for your trash phantom of 7 years past? Man, fuck you, Matt. I was busy doing murder. Yeah, sure you were. What? You didn't know? She used to live here when she was a little girl. She did? No, I didn't know. No wonder she knew so much. Miss Woods, could you tell me more in detail?
I want every excruciating detail you give me.
Thena's mom worked here. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that. They needed a psychologist in a space center? Space madness, I guess. I don't know. But why was a psychology specialist working in a space research facility? That's literally what I asked. I don't really know. But I do know that she lived and worked here. So Thena lived here too.
space does weird stuff to your brain, does weird stuff to your body. It can stretch your spinal cord. It go. I wonder, how do you sleep in space? If you're like in the space station and you want to go to sleep, how do you sleep? Do you just get like... No, that wouldn't make sense. How would you sleep? Do they put you in like little pods or something like that? Little space pods? Little space capsules? So you can just honk shoot? They got space toilets. I know that. You just doo-doo. And it like sucks the poop out. Unrelated. But how do they sleep in space? Reem claims he could do 20 push-ups. When astronauts get back from ISS deployments, they often complain about feelings of dissociation and suspicion that the world isn't real. Probably because they don't sleep. Like in a row? I also used to do pull-ups. I don't think I could do pull-ups, though. I think pull-ups might be a little difficult on me. Because of my gut. Push-ups I could probably do. I used to be able to do 20. Now I'm not too sure, since the last time I checked was back when I was in ROTC. And that was the only times I ever worked out in my life. Astronauts do sleep in space. They either tie themselves to a wall or go in these little padded rooms, or room things that are about the size of a telephone booth. So a little space capsule. Yeah, no, this is a space capsule. It's a little space pod. Personal phone booth size compartments called crew quarters. Oh, I see. It looks like a fucking coffin, I'm not gonna lie. They're space vampires. Goodness. I feel like if I were to go in space, I don't think I could sleep in space. I don't think I could sleep in space. I'll be for real. You would not survive the trip in space? Dude, what do you mean? You would die? I wouldn't die. What are you talking about? I could live. I have the potential. If I worked on myself right now, I could go to space. I could. It's true. You need to train for years to acclimate to the G-forces. Dude, that's easy. Just spinning your chair for a little while. Just spinning your chair. Just spinning your little chair. That'll fix it. Just do that for a couple of years and you basically become an astronaut. You're an astro. This is a spinny chair, so if I just go out, spin in my chair, I would win. It's easy. Since all of our telescopes involve mirrors, if there were vampires in space, we'd never know. That's actually, yeah, that's true. That's a funny thought. We wouldn't know if space vampires are real. It's fucked up. That's where they hide. That's a pretty good hiding spot, actually. I mean, I know. How would you know? Do you have vampire vision? Do you have like the little vampire vision? Because they email me every Tuesday. Why are you getting emailed by strangers? Didn't your mom ever tell you not to talk to strangers? They're not strangers, they're vampires. Oh, you know what? That's true. That's true. You can't be a vampire and a stranger at the same time. That's this whole thing. Where's the black cat? And then you sent a whatever the fuck that emoted. Oh, it's never mind. It's different on the phone. Bo is out there. He didn't want to be in here. I guess he probably just wanted to be by himself in mom's closet. Thor's here, though. He's underneath the bed, chilling like Dylan. Oh, I don't think he wants to say hi either, because he's napping. Just like all of them are, little fuckers. Yeah, no, he's just chilling. I met them in Vamp Camp. That's not a real place. Let's see. Alright, back to the game. We'll do a little bit more of this and we'll call it a night, so we gotta listen to the story. Story time. So, it's far from Athena's first time here. I wonder why she didn't mention it. She probably didn't want to talk about it. This place is connected to a very sad memory for her. A sad memory? Can you tell me about it? There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago. Same time frame as the Hat 1 launch. Athena's mom, in the robotics lab, she was murdered. Vamp Camp is a real place. It's where all the vampires go to get counseling after they get back from the ISS. Israeli storage system. Honestly, I could have said like anything. I don't know why the first thing that comes up is Israel. Good lord. Israeli good. International Space Station, you Philistine. After it happened, Athena stopped coming to school. Poor Athena. And all this time, she never let it on at all. I was so worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her. But I never saw her again. After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years. So the first time you'd seen her in 7 years was during Professor Corte's case? That's right. And I was so surprised. She was like a completely different person. So cheerful and happy. It's cringe! What was Athena like as a child? She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home. That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I can't even picture it. She never left the Space Center much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions. Why does the spaceship have Gyaxa on the side? Because that's the name of the company. See? Gyaxa. Gaxa. Yeah, see, look. Gaxa. Oh, shut up! We're looking at lore! Shut up. When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around. Fuck, I hate this. It's just a stupid version of just mind reading. That's basically all this is. It's just a dumb version of mind reading. Just make her a mind. We already know the supernatural exists because there are spirits in this series. We know there are spirits. So just make the woman have mind powers, man. Make her a psychic. Add psychics to this game, all right? Add psychic vampires to this game. If you're psychic, you gotta be careful if there are a lot of people. You wouldn't want to get conked in the head by a flying emotion. True. She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. Like, do you even know what a psychic vampire is? Yeah, it's a girl who's a psychic. You know, with the whole crystal ball, who is also a vampire. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. Huh. I wonder what kind of research it was. Because of her special ability, Thena couldn't handle being in school very often. Your esoteric knowledge is weak. It isn't that my knowledge is weak. It's that my mind is not giving a fuck. And I was always out sick because of my weak condition. My weak constitution. Your weak constitution? You didn't pledge allegiance to the flag enough, so now you're sick? I don't... What the fuck? She didn't have enough... She didn't put enough... When she came out the birth canal, her mom didn't put enough constitution points in her stat bar. That's why. That makes sense. That makes sense. She was like... Oh shit! I put her intelligence high, but no constitution. Fuck! Oh well. Constitution means either your ability to resist illness or your ability to poop. I wonder which one she is. Con dump step 1 HP for real. Okay, I don't like you using that language, mister, so I'm gonna need you to stop right there. We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. It brings back memories. Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center. Ooh, Daddy, show her that picture. Picture. Miss Woods, could you take a look at this for me? Ooh, look, there's Athena's mom. Who is the top hat lady? Oh, I see your confusion. That isn't a top hat. That's her hair. I'm assuming you're talking about her. The woman on the far right is in the kimono. That's Dr. Metis Sykes. Metis Sykes? Metis Sykes? What the fuck? No, nerd. The lady in the blue top hat with the cloak. She's not in the picture. She's talking to Phoenix. What? Are you talking about... What? You're talking about Juniper? Her? Are you talking about her? No. Who the Oh, my bad. Okay, you're talking about Trucy. Never mind. I know who you're talking about. That's Trucy. That's Trucy, right? You don't remember? She's the girl from Apollo Justice. She's Phoenix's daughter, who's also a magician. Ugh. No, I don't remember. Wait, hold on. Your esoteric knowledge is weak! His mother's murder. Did it by chance Did it by any chance have any connection to the Hadron launch? What? Why, yes, it did. As I recall, it happened on the day before the launch. Just as I suspected. It was stabbed. So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean that the crime prosecutor Black Quill was convicted of is the murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case. There is?
Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods.
Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods. And please try not to worry. I won't let anything happen to Athena. That's not esoteric knowledge, you troglodyte. That's familial knowledge. I bet you can't even see the ethereal, you malignant mollycoddle. Well, first of all, I'd appreciate it if you stopped saying slurs in my chat. Second of all, it's not familial knowledge if they're all fucking fictional characters. If anything, it's video game knowledge, which is something you should be accustomed to. So how about you take your big fat fucking nose and go sniff in another direction? Thank you, Mr. Wright. I know you'll take good care of her. So we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena. We've got our plates full, Daddy. I hope we can fit it all before the day is through. Yeah, the detention center. Detention center. Well, if it isn't Mr. Lawyer, fancy meeting you here. Oh, hello, Detective Fulbright. Here on business? To tell the truth, I'm here to interview Dead Donate. The one behind the courtroom bombing incident? He suddenly said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what he was saying was so incredible, I just had to come over here right now. Incredible? What was he saying? Why don't you hang around and hear it for yourself? Really? Us? You sure? Ha ha ha! I give you my permission. Here comes the bomber now. Wait, hold on.
You, what nerve you have to come here?
Man, if your video game knowledge was a person, they'd probably drive a Tesla, you bumbling batteroon. First off, stop speaking Shakespearean, you fuck. Second of all, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? We're Ninny Hammer. Stop! Stop calling me names! Or I'm gonna call your mom. I'm gonna tell her you've been saying mean words to me. And then, I'm gonna shave your nose. I'm gonna get your nose. Perfect. Alright, I got my shit set up.
You're here to laugh at me, I suppose.
I had to waste my breath on you. After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in the hospital.
Violence, no question, okay.
No violence? Too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Fine. Then just answer me this. Mr. Tonate. What is this truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up?
No, I didn't do IT. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room.
What are you talking about? Who else could have been there? You fuck.
I saw IT, I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. This person was there and witnessed the murder I committed.
That's crazy. What?
I don't know who IT was.
But that's who blew up the courtroom! Oops. You expect us to buy that? Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any psych locks. So I guess he might not be... lying.
Pardon me, I got a little carried away, but I'm telling you the truth. I did not detonate that bomb.
And there you have it. We can't exactly ignore his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. We're even analyzing the bomb itself, or what's left of it. Does Phoenix have the ability to always know when someone lies? Yes. Sort of. It's only outside of courtrooms does it work. But yes. That is his ability. Man, do you not... This has been a staple since the second game. He has a Magatama for when someone is holding secrets back. He's a secret sniffer. You would know this if you were a professional Phoenix Wright player like me. We haven't even found any new facts yet, though. I remember that, but I didn't think it would work for every lie. I just thought it just happened sometimes. No, it only happens when someone is withholding information or fibbing. Oh, I shit my pants. Wow, they laid it all out, piece by piece.
Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces. I wish I could have them.
He's a gooner. And why doesn't he just ask everyone if they did it? Cause that would make the game too easy. I think it depends on the question. First of all, you have to. First of all, we don't even know who even did it. Second of all, Phoenix isn't even in this game very much. Third of all, it only works if someone is holding secrets back. If someone is withholding secrets. I think that's specifically what it does. So if he said that he didn't bomb it, and a Magatama appears, then there is something he's hiding when he's saying it. But since there's no psych locks there, I don't fucking know, man. Uh-oh. Looks like his geek switch has been activated. Phony Fanty bomb added to the court record. Phoenix's lock thing happened randomly when someone was lying, like they've been lying, like they had to be lying for it to activate, but it won't activate on every single lie. Well, I don't think there's not a lot of cases where people actively lie outside the courtroom. The only time you ever see someone lie is in the courtroom. Outside of it, the Magatama only works like outside of it, but nobody really lies to him very often. Because, I don't know. That's just it. Because nobody really has a reason to. Because this was a power that was introduced in the second game. And he doesn't really talk to murderers very often, like, before the trial. Lying should be done outside the courtroom. You're under oath in the courtroom, but there's no consequences for lying outside the courtroom. Yes. In every single case, there has been at least one person that commits perjury. And not a lot of people get in trouble for it. Perjury is not as serious a crime as it is in real life. The judge does nothing for it. The prosecutor doesn't do much about it. The Cosmo guy has lied so many times during his testimony. I don't know why he isn't in prison or in jail for perjury, but he's running around doing whatever the fuck he wants. You just kind of get away with lying in court. You just kind of do. I don't know why. It's explicitly said it's against the law, but they don't really do anything about it, so it's like, it just doesn't mean anything. Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackwell's special brand of questioning.
Anything but that! Exclamation.
Is that why Phoenix's powers don't work in court? Because it's okay to lie in court, so the spirits respect that? No, I think that's just a game mechanic. I think that just might be just a video game thing. Like, they don't want to, like, have... Well, actually, technically, if we wanted to get technical about it, there is also another guy who can detect lies, and that's Apollo Justice. Apollo Justice can detect lies in court. He has a power to do that. Because whenever someone, like, you know how, like, whenever someone lies or something like that, they, like, change, their body language changes or something like that, they'll, like, start fidgeting. Apollo has the ability to see into that. Phoenix Wright is Phoenix Wright just like a more genuine version of Sean Spencer from Psych? No, I think that's more like Apollo, if anything. I think Apollo is more like Sean Spencer from Psych. Phoenix is just like Phoenix. I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna move on now. I'd like to get this done so I can go. Detecting lies via body language is pseudoscience? No, it's superpowers. It's superpowers. Because whenever he sees someone does like a little body, like his body language changes, or like he does like a tick, like a little tick thing that he fidgets, his muscles tense up. And with his bracelet, whenever his muscles tense up, it squeezes his arm. So he knows when someone is lying. Because he's got a magic bracelet that squeezes his arm when someone lies. You know, saying this out loud is really fucking stupid. When you try to explain it outside of actually visually seeing it, it sounds fucking stupid. But fuck you. I'm afraid I'll be off too. If you want to fool the body language guy, all you have to do is tense all your muscles and scream continuously. Then he'll never know you're lying. What? So, your idea to fool Apollo is to just scream? What? What is... Okay, first of all, how does tensing your muscles gonna trick him? It work? That's not... It's not how it works. So, I was walking down the aisle and... Ah! My friend Charlene will talk to me and... Ah! We talked about work stuff, and then he told me, ah! Like this is your idea of a solution, a counter. It's if he doesn't know what you look like when you're acting normally, how will he know when you're acting abnormally? His power isn't detecting lies; it's detecting psych locks that are locks openable with evidence. We're not talking about Phoenix, you fuck. We're talking about Apollo. I'm talking about Apollo Justice, not Phoenix Wright. Also, did you look that up with your fucking wiki, you twink? You fucking .wiki'd that? And then Matt's like, no, I did not look it up on Wikipedia. Ah! No, I used my brain. You have one of those? What? That's crazy. I thought you only had like a wang and that was it. And your hemorrhoids. I thought you just had hemorrhoids. That's crazy. I was just about to question Sykes. You're going to see Athena now. That's right. Oh, did you folks want to see her? Blah, 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 blah. Well, will you come back later? Get out of here. If you don't have the evidence, they won't appear. No, they'll still appear if you don't have evidence. But if you want to break them, you have to go find the evidence. So we'll have to wait until her questioning is done. And after we came all this way too, well, I guess it's back to Space Center. Let's go check out the robots lady place. Okay, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. We get so fucking distracted. It's just crazy. Okay, then it is a lie detecting power. Yeah. I mean, yes, that is what it is. 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 It detects lies. Someone lying. Oh, I got you. I see Cyclops. You can't trick me. You can't tell me you didn't have fun being distracted. Don't lie to me. I can see the Cyclops. Do you see him? Okay. Alright, tomorrow we're going to play some Resident Evil. We're going to play some Resident Evil tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. You guys have a good rest of your night. Fuck you all for rage baiting me. Assholes!